Want to switch gears now and talk about the red hot housing market because we continue to see home prices skyrocket across the country and inventory continues to dwindle as we see more competition out there for homes and lots of bidding wars. Joining us now for an outlook on the housing market is Jacob Channel, Lendingtree's Senior Economic Analyst. Jacob, thanks for being with us. So at this point, what do you see as fueling the demand for housing?
Well, I think it's a combination of factors. On one hand, rates are still really, really low. I think they're hovering nationally at around 2.9%. And then beyond that, I think that you just have a lot of pent-up demand still left over from the pandemic. You have increases in things like savings rates, especially for wealthier families. And then you also have a lot of younger families or younger households who would like to get in on the housing market. So it's a combination of factors.
And where are you seeing the most demand at the moment? I mean, we're getting more and more reports that people are starting to come back to cities. We actually spoke to someone yesterday about rent prices now going through the roof, and there being bidding wars for rental properties. Are you seeing that people are coming back to the big cities? Where's more of the demand coming from?
Yeah, certainly big cities. I think that if you look back at the pandemic, at the start, there was this idea that there might be this mass exodus away from cities. However, when you really look at the data, that didn't really happen. It might have been a slight increase from prior years, but for the most part, people stuck around cities and they're going to continue to stick around cities. So yep, you're exactly right. We're seeing a lot of demand right now in major metropolitan areas.
Any concern from potential buyers that mortgage rates are going to go much higher? People are hearing that the Fed may raise interest rates sooner rather than later, especially now with inflation heating up more quickly than perhaps expected. Is there concern that they need to lock that mortgage rate in now because the anticipation is that they're just going to go higher in the months ahead?
Certainly, I think that some people have that concern, but it's important to put into perspective just how low mortgage rates are. So even if they do increase a little bit or they go up, which they probably will this year, they're still more than likely going to be really low from a historical standpoint. For example, over the past decade, rates rarely went even down to 3.5%. You're much more likely to see rates over that around 4 or 5%. So even if rates do go up, even if they grow out of the 2% range, they're still going to be low from a historical perspective. And I don't think that they're going to have a huge negative impact on demand.
I know one of the issues or sort of the imbalances in the housing market has been the low supply of homes on the market. There's just not the inventory there. Are you starting to see that open up a little bit now?
Yeah, but it's been kind of uneven. So as more people return to work and as global supply shortages get better, for example, the price of lumber has started to come down recently, we are seeing more homes being built, which obviously means more supply, and that's a good thing. However, what's happening isn't necessarily all happening all at once, and it's been kind of a bumpy road. So we probably will see more supply as the year goes along, but there are definitely some things to keep in mind that could kind of hamper that. For example, with the Delta variant of the coronavirus, we might end up seeing fewer people return to the labor force, which will make construction even more challenging.
And what about those sky high prices? New home prices at a record high, not new home prices, just home prices in general at a record high right now. Is there the feeling that those prices are going to start to come down? We've seen lumber prices start to fall. I know that was a big reason why prices had shot up so quickly recently. Any indication that home prices may have peaked?
Yeah, I think that there are some indications that they've peaked, though I don't think that they're going to decline dramatically. I think that what you saw was, like you pointed out, lumber prices increasing home prices, but also just an incredible demand. So people were getting into bidding wars. They were fighting for smaller and smaller number of houses. That will probably dissipate a little bit, get a little bit better as the year goes on, and we probably will see prices come down somewhat. But I still think that they're going to remain fairly high, at least relatively speaking.
All right, Jacob Channel, Lendingtree Senior Economic Analyst, thanks for being with us today.